Siamai pawb, croeso I Barc y Scarlets heno am gêm rugby rhwng tîm datblygol y Scarlets yn erbyn tîm A Gweilch. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Parc y Scarlets this evening for the game between Scarlets Development against Ospreys A. To begin with, we'd like to take you through the teams who are going to play. Centre Joe Roberts has been handed the captain's armband for Scarlets Development. The 21-year-old leads the side, showing 6 personnel changes from last weekend's 29-10 win over Dragons at Rodney Parade. In the back three, Josh Phillips, a replacement in Newport, starts at full back with Tom Rogers switching to the left wing and Eddie James selected on the right. Roberts continues his midfield partnership with Tyler Morgan, while Wales international Rhys Patchell is given another run out in the number 10 jersey after making his comeback from injury last weekend. Patchell partners scrum half Luke Davis at half back. Up front there is a front row of Steph Thomas, Academy hooker Morgan McRae and Harry O'Connor. Jack Price and Morgan Jones are again named in the second row, while in the back row Caleb Salmon, Iestyn Rhys and Carwyn Tuipilotu get the nod once more. There is a host of exciting young talent among the replacements, with Scarlets again including Llandyfri forwards Osian Davis and Griff Evans, as well as backs Samuel Jones and Bradley Roderick Evans. For the Ospreys, the experience in the back three comes from Keelan Giles, who's joined by Kai Evans and Dewi Cross. Callum Carson and ex-Scarlet Osha Not play in the centre. Half-backs Josh Thomas and Harry Morgan. Ex-Leinster Academy product Will Hickey starts at 6, with workhorses Harry Davis and Morgan Strong completing the back row. Hugh Sutton and James Fender join forces in the second row, and Ben Warren, Cameron Lewis and Garin Phillips complete the pack. Look out for Lloyd Ashley on the bench, who I'm sure will be a threat to the Scarlets line-out following his loan period with the West Walians. Now, earlier today we spoke to Captain Joe Roberts and Coach Emyr Phillips. Here's what they had to say.
Yeah, we've had a little bit less of focus this week, probably planning a bit more for the SA trip, but we've had a good run there with the young group, including a lot of the academy boys again this week, which has been great for them. So really pleased with how last week went, and not just the performance, seeing the boys around the senior group and seeing how a working week works with them. So I've been really chuffed, and it's a really exciting game for the boys. Yeah, it's great. Hopefully Patch can put in back-to-back performances. He's been really good in the group driving standards, helping the younger boys pick up on a few things, and we've had Lee Halfpenny on the coaching staff as well, and it's been excellent to see, just seeing the younger boys out there now with Patch and Lee, and if they can pick up 1% from those two boys, then they're going to be better players for it. So it's been a huge positive for us the last 2 weeks. It's a chance to play in an Ospreys Scarlets derby, which is huge. So, we're expecting a physical battle. A local derby always is. I know it's got a development tag to it, but it's a local derby. So that's what we've driven through to the boys. Really hope that we're physical both sides of the ball and get the chance to throw it around a bit. Yeah, I think it's a great chance for the crowd to see what the next crop coming through is looking like. We've got a successful academy year, and we're quite confident that a lot of the boys who are going to be stepping up this weekend are going to be here for a long time. So it's a great chance for the crowd to see them younger boys. A few names they've probably not come across, but we're really excited to chuck them out there with a few experienced heads. And yeah, for me personally, it's great to get those boys on the pitch.
Yeah, it's always an honour. It was quite a surprise when peeling in the team. Didn't really give me an heads up before, so I was quite flustered in that moment. But no, it's always nice. It'll be nice to lead the boys up tomorrow. First time doing it, so yeah, it's good. Training's been good this week. All the boys full of energy, coming off the back of a good win. Dragons are a strong team out, so it's always nice to come away with a good win. But no, it's always good to play against the Ospreys. Test yourself in that way, and hopefully come away with a good win. Be good for all the boys. Our fans are always really supportive, but no, hopefully we can put a good performance on front for them, and hopefully get a good crowd down here.
And just before we kick off, I just have to introduce my co-commentator. You don't know much about history, you don't know much about biology, you don't know much about a science book, but he does know much about rugby. That is Mr. Sam Cook sat next to me. Sam, looking forward to the game.
Diolch yn fawr iawn. Looking forward to what should be a nice kind of open game of rugby. Weather's kind of held nicely at Parc y Scarlets for a change. Looking forward to seeing the matchup with Tom Rogers and Keelan Giles on the wing. And yeah, just some good free-flowing rugby, I think.
Yeah, long kick from Rhys Patchell to start the game into the Ospreys 22. Slow ball for Harry Morgan, but the Ospreys pack will build from here and try and give Harry, I imagine, a chance to clear. Ball really slow for the Ospreys, but the clearance come kick.
Good clearance there.
Goes in, crosses the touchline, just over the halfway. The Scarlets decide not to play it quickly. They settle the game down and leave the ball in the hands of Scarlets hooker Morgan McRae with the first line out of the day. Didn't look straight from me, that one, Sam, but I'm not sure if it was seen by the touch judge or the referees. But a great kick and a great chase from Tommy Dodge.
Tom Rogers showing his class early doors there, I think. Good take off the high ball. Plenty of attention from the Ospreys defenders as well.
And Scarlets immediately put him width on it. But the pass unfortunately goes to the floor over the head of Steph Thomas. But some great clearance work.
Yeah, it's good from Eddie James off the wing. There, yeah. Good offload.
Scarlets on the front foot, winning some good ball. Caleb Salmon driving forward, driving low. He's got the support of the forwards, and there's a quick ball out to the Scarlets. Rhys Patchell in a bit of space. It's another long pass, missing a few men that time, and Tyler Morgan decides to take it up strong and up straight. Ball, quick ball again, but rather than tidy this time from the Scarlets, they'll need to tidy it up a fraction. And Stephen Thomas carrying hard, well defended by the Ospreys there, must be said. Scarlets still looking for opportunities out wide, aren't they? Rhys Patchell again looking for the pass over the top. Not on this time, so decides to take the contact himself. And Stephen Thomas driving forward.
Yeah, Scarlets showing their intent early doors, I think. A couple of wide passes there. Ospreys holding firm in defence, though. It's good to see. I think Patch is going to look for that big wide pass every opportunity he gets at the moment. No, the Ospreys look to be defending quite narrow.
Yeah, but a slow ball. Rhys Patchell going for the drop kick to start. Good strike, but shaves the right hand post really, and well defended from the Ospreys. The Scarlets definitely challenged them there, Sam. They threw it wide. Didn't really have many opportunities. They won some good ball, to be fair to the Scarlets, quite early, but well defended by the Ospreys. Had lots of line speed.
Yeah, I think Patch going for that drop goal early doors kind of shows that the options weren't quite there in the end after a couple of phases. I think they were perhaps looking to continue some of that momentum they picked up off the first 2 or 3 phases that they just didn't end up coming in the end.
Yeah, a great dropout from Josh Thomas, hits it over the Scarlets defenders. Rhys Patchell returns with interest and with a lovely spiral down the side. And I think it's Josh Phillip who's signalling that he's going to kick it high for Eddie James to chase. Oh no, it's not Eddie James. That's
hard lines.
A knock on from Scarlets. It was a great chase by Morgan Strong, to be fair.
Yeah, good pressure. Yeah, Luke Davis been caught there a little bit, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately for Luke.
It'll be interesting to see the first scrum now.
Yeah, the front rows, it's big news for one of the front rowers today, Steph Thomas. We've got to congratulate Steph. He's given, well, hasn't given birth, but his girlfriend / wife Chloe has given birth to baby boy today, Freddie. Huge congratulations to Steph Thomas. We will see if it's affected his scrummaging.
Absolutely.
Here we go, great position for the Ospreys. 15 metres in from the touchline, plenty of attacking options.
Couldn't have asked for a better attacking platform there 5 minutes in, I don't think.
Scarlets look to put the pressure on, but the Ospreys scrum hold steady. And number 12, Not carries hard. The Ospreys forwards coming round the corner, straight into Cadwyn Tuopolotu. A good ball for the Ospreys here. Definitely found a place.
Good offload.
Oh, unfortunately, it looked like the pass was on from Callum Carson, but he decides to recycle. His Keelan Giles tries to go over into the corner, but he's held up just short. There was desperate defence from the Scarlets. Ospreys probing the short angles, trying to muscle their way over the try line. Ball's recycled there. Ospreys still building the game. They're in a great position, 5 yards out. Want to try and work a quick ball here, or will they keep it tight? Plenty of numbers out on the left-hand side, and that's the way they'll keep going. Through Morgan Strong. quick ball this time to Harry Morgan and a great angle.
Yeah, that's a great carry.
Strong carry. Another good angle from Callum Carson, but a good defence this time from the Scarlets. I think they may have hinted of a turnover, but the ball is won again by Hugh Sutton with the Ospreys and carried over the gain line. Great carry from Hugh Sutton. To be fair, Ospreys now just a yard short from the Scarlets try line. They're really sensing the try this time.
Plenty of numbers out on the right, plenty of numbers.
Surely it's time to move it now. The Parc keep it tight again. They're only a yard short. They are really testing the Scarlets defence. Ball is incredibly slow, but the numbers are still there, right for the Ospreys.
Yeah, it's a lovely pass,
nice pass. Outside half, Josh Thomas there. Sees the space, it's outside for Callum Carson, and a try in the corner for the Ospreys. Great try, Sam, to be fair.
Yeah, some strong early pressure there from the Ospreys. I did think there's some good work defensively in the middle from Caleb Salmon, and also Tyler Morgan's tackle on the wing on Keelan Giles. Both good. I think Scarlets defence showing some good intent as well, but no, some really good phase play there from the Ospreys, and they were very patient with the ball as well. Didn't go too early, and ultimately it was a nice pass from Josh Thomas out wide.
Yes, unfortunately we don't have replays to show you on this live stream, so you're going to have to trust myself and Sam with our expert analysis. But from the damage was done from the scrum move, wasn't it? To be fair, I think it was a great angle from Callum Carson. Really found a hole in the Scarlets defence and crossed the gain line, and the Scarlets defence was always scrambling from that point.
Yeah, no, completely. I think catching Luke Davis with that early kick as well, it shows, although it's development game, obviously the kicking game is going to be just as influential as it would be for a normal league game. But as you say, the scrum was a perfect attacking platform for them to go from.
Now Kai Evans with an opportunity to add the extra 2 points is from the touchline. So a difficult opportunity. But an excellent kick straight through the post. We've got a lovely angle of it there, Sam.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
the Ospreys lead 7-0, and they'll be chuffed with that start. From showing the strong defence to keep the Scarlets at bay in the first 2-3 minutes, and then opportunity to score. Great work by the Parc, kept the ball tight until the key moment really. The Scarlets ran out of defenders on the right hand side. Great work by Josh Thomas and Callum Carson to cross in the Scarlets, so to cross in the corner. So plenty of work to do for the Scarlets. And Rhys Patchell with another kick-off very early. He's gone long again into the Ospreys 22. And a hard carry, that time from Will Hickey.
Yeah, great carry. Plenty of time on the ball there off the receiver as well.
Harry Morgan marshalling the troops, getting the front row to carry again, trying to get another 5 yards, trying to secure the ball before kicking it long. The tactic worked well the last time, and it's a long kick.
That's a good take.
Yeah. It was a great carry, but Ospreys transgressing that time, and I'm not sure why. Didn't really understand whether it was a push for the Ospreys chasers. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was just a small push there. Good take from Josh Phillips though. That'll settle his nerves somewhat.
Yeah, and a good kick from Rhys Patchell. Gets a crowd of about 1,000 people here tonight at Parc y Scarlets. Good achievement, seeing as you've got Llanelli Carnival going on tonight as well. But yeah, good kick from Rhys Patchell into the corner, and chance for Scarlets to apply some pressure in the 22. Interesting to see the back row move, and maybe will they keep it tight, or will they use the backs?
Well, you see Tom Rogers is sat quite wide again. I envisioned a couple of phases up the middle here, and then look to use a bit of width again potentially. Yeah,
Scarlets decided to try and set up the drive-in line out, but it was an Osprey hand got in the way, and it's a knock-on from the Scarlets, just a couple of yards short. That'll be quite frustrating for the Scarlets. They seem to have a rumble on, but unfortunately ball put down maybe by Steph Thomas. I'm unsure, but it's a knock-on and a scrum for the Ospreys. They'll be frustrated with a start like that, and they are great position 5 yards out. They look to be setting up this the driving ball, but it looked like an Ospreys player tapped the ball out, and it was unfortunately a turnover.
Yeah, I think they'll be upset with that. 5 yards out from the try line, 10 yards out from the try line. You're hoping for a bit better there from your set piece.
But still, precarious position for the Ospreys. The Scarlets scrum about to park down. Great to see two young front rowers go at it now. This morning is a lot of pressure from the Scarlets, but some great work, I think, from Morgan Strong there at 8. Even though the scrum was going back, he's carried. He's made 5 or 6 yards, to be fair, with a scrum that was going backwards. It was a great carry, and Ospreys recycling the ball.
Living up to his name there, I think.
And winning the penalty. The Scarlets not on their back foot. Didn't seem right in front of the eyes of referee Aled Evans. He's supported today by touch judges Elliot May and Joseph Rees. Important job for them today, but they definitely missed a line out that wasn't straight in the first minute of the game. But Aled Evans and Lygad Ailefna and Gweilch Scarlets and Roy Bant a kick gosp a man Ginnar. So clearance for the Ospreys just outside the 10-yard line. In line out to come. It's a long ball by the Ospreys, giving the Scarlets plenty of opportunity to come back at them. Josh Phillips thought about the counter-attack but decided to kick it long. Kai Evans doesn't think about the counter-attack, plays the safe game and gets it to just inside the Ospreys half. Sensible play from Kai Evans. It didn't seem like there was much on, but things did seem to be open up for Josh Phillips to start, but it's fairly early on in the game, isn't it? He doesn't want to put his team under pressure, so decided to kick it long.
No, absolutely. You could see he was in two minds there. I think he'd had the call that the kick had to go.
And a line out over the top from the Scarlets. Gives Ospreys a great attacking ball, actually, and a strong carry from Harry Deeves. And a great attacking kick. Great attacking kick. To be fair, there was a chase there between Morgan McRae and I think it was Keelan Giles who was running him down, so Morgan McRae very relieved to see the ball go over the touchline. And Morgan McRae now with a line out, and I think the Ospreys may be sensing a bit of pressure in the Scarlets ranks here. They've thrown in 2 or 3 lineouts really, which have led to turnovers. So there's definitely going to put some pressure on the Scarlets. Morgan McRae may be looking to go long into the arms of Carwyn Tuipulotu.
It's just timing off there, just a touch of timing there for the jumpers. Oh, it's a great carry.
Oh. And unfortunately from a Scarlets mistake, it's a great try. I think it's Ospreys number 6, Will Hickey.
That's 2 big carries now from Ospreys flankers. The first to Harry Deeves to get over the gain line, and then the second from Will Hickey for the try there. Good, hard, solid running.
Yeah, it was Will Hickey diving over. It was a strong carry. The Scarlets not really finding their jumpers, unfortunately, in the line-out. There's definitely timing, as you mentioned, Sam. The throw seemed to be there or thereabouts, but unfortunately the lift was just a little bit late, and just presented an opportunity to the Ospreys. Well finished by Will Hickey, mind on the front foot, to be fair. The Leinster Academy product, signed by the Ospreys. I think it was last season, maybe the season before, but showed some promise on trial at the Ospreys, 2019 I believe. So he's been signed full-time by the Ospreys, showing the promise, and you can see there why they decided to sign him. Another opportunity for Kai Evans with a slightly easier kick this time from the 15-yard line. No question again. Through the middle of the post, Kai Evans, his second successful conversion. Score 14-0 to the Ospreys. A lot of work to do for the Scarlets. It's just got to tidy up a couple of these unforced errors, haven't they?
Absolutely. It's just been a case, I think, of putting themselves under pressure with some of these unforced errors. I think if they tightened up the drive and more in the 22 there, they wouldn't have come back pretty much the length of the pitch. As you say, it's just simple Scarlets errors. They're putting themselves under pressure at the minute. Tidy them up, and I think the game will change.
Yeah, Rhys Patchell kicking long again into the Ospreys 22. Ospreys securing the ball first before looking possibly to Harry Morgan to clear the pressure. We've got Josh Phillips quite deep along with Rhys Patchell. No one in the middle ground. The ball.
That's a solid touch finder.
Yeah, ball's gone straight out. It's a great kick from Harry Morgan. Moving play into the Scarlets half, and another line out for the Scarlets. Hopefully looking just to secure the ball at this moment. It's been a nervy start by the Scarlets pack really in the line out, hasn't it? So they're just trying to secure the ball, make sure they win it. No need to go and look for the back maybe,
no,
just
back
secure the ball. Scarlets do win it that time, even though it's still very untidy. Luke Davis is caught behind the line out, and slow ball for the Scarlets, but handed on to Cadwyn Tupoloto, who will get some hard yards for the Scarlets.
May gain line now there.
Ospreys thinking the ball may be out, but the referee disagrees. And Rhys Patchell with a high ball, Tyler Morgan underneath it, and Kai Evans takes an excellent high ball, to be fair, and wins some go forward ball for the Ospreys under increasing pressure.
Keelan Giles making himself busy back there as well.
Harry Morgan looking for the kick again, a bit too far this time, straight to Rhys Patchell. Rhys Patchell looking to keep the tempo of the game and to kick the ball long, but he does find touch at the Ospreys 10-yard line. A good kick from Rhys Patchell. Harry Morgan, no doubt, is looking for this kicking game. He's put a couple of effective kicks in. Obviously one got a line out for the Scarlets on their own 5-yard line, which they got the try from. Hardy again looking to do the same, but unfortunately Rhys Patchell back there this time. But it's an Ospreys line out that the Scarlets compete, but the Ospreys win.
Here's again. He's not afraid to use the boot, is he? Not afraid.
No. A little chip this time. Oh, unfortunately, accidental offside for the Ospreys. Yeah, a little chip. I think it was Tommy Rodge who thought he saw some space, but it was well covered by the Ospreys 9, Harry Morgan. But unfortunately kicked it into his own player, and I think his own player might have a large bruise on his forehead after that one. It seemed quite a nasty one, but whoever it was, they shook it off and they've gone straight into Park down, into Scarlets line out with a good opportunity to attack. We've got Tommy Rodge lining up directly behind Rhys Patchell to start with, so I wonder if he will be a decoy runner, or if he will be used. We'll see what they've got planned.
Plenty of width on the move as well.
Strong scrum from the Scarlets, but it does immediately collapse. Referee just allows the scrum to reset. No, there's definitely a shove on from the Scarlets in most scrums now, Sam. I wouldn't say the Ospreys are under pressure by any means, but the Scarlets are definitely going for it. Yeah,
feeling each other out, I think, still early doors. Plenty of youth in these front rowers, so there's still plenty of learning to be done. Be interesting to see how Harry O'Connor goes. I know on his loan spell at Nottingham he came up against Vincent Koch against Saracens, so I'm sure coming up against players like that will have honed some of his scrummaging skills.
Yeah, not sure what you know about scrummaging. You've been a centre for Mumbles. You've moved into the back row at 6. Maybe the next stage might be in the front row, Sam.
If I keep piling on the pounds, potentially, yeah.
But a good scrum there from the Scarlets. As we hinted, it was a strong scrum. They've won the penalty from referee Aled Evans. So Rhys Patchell with an opportunity to kick the ball into the Ospreys 22. And for the Scarlets, he does put an excellent kick in, Rhys Patchell, right down. But 6-7 yards from the Ospreys try line. And it's a line out for the Scarlets, a line out that hasn't been clean by any means. I think they've won 2 line outs out of a potential 5, I believe, but even the twice they won it was very scrappy, very messy ball. So chance for the Scarlets to put things right. Ball's gone over the top again. It's a lost line out from the Scarlets, frustrated by the supporters, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Morgan McRae just missed his jumper on that one. There's been a couple of timing issues with some of these lineouts. I think, unfortunately, that one was just the throw. The Scarlets are going to have to tighten this up, though, if they're going to get a platform back into the game. I think that's three line-outs in the opposition 22 now that they've not completed.
Yeah, great clearance from the Ospreys, really clearing the pressure. Unfortunately from the Scarlets, far too expensive, too many mistakes at the moment. And just to remind you really, we are asking people a live poll question on Facebook today, just if you're enjoying the live stream. We hope you are. Ni'n gofyn os ych chi yn mwynhau'r darllediad byw yma heno. Rwch gwybod i ni, achos ni'n gwybod wedyn os newn ni fe to, neu os falle ni'n mynd i gadael efo na. Ond gewn ni weld, rwch gwybod ni os ych chi'n mwynhau. Please let us know if you're enjoying. It does. We will make a decision obviously for future games, whether to keep the live stream going or whether we'd knock it on the head. So even if you fancy a couple of new commentators, please be brutally honest. Myself and Sam, we can take it.
Another tough line out there for Morgan McRae, just missed his jumper again. Line now seem to be having a couple of issues. Scarlets deep in their own 22 now.
Rhys Patchell with the clearance. Kai Evans is back there, great positioning from Kai, well supported by his back three. Kai decides to take it on this time and he beats the first man and carries hard. Carries over the halfway. It's a great return by Kai, to be fair. Yeah, good ball for the Ospreys and a great angle, I believe, by Gavin Phillips there. Number 1 for the Ospreys tonight. This quick ball again, but not many options for the Ospreys, therefore. Josh Thomas takes it forward. Still good ball for the Ospreys, and just testing it a bit wide, and it's a great angle and a hard carry by Morgan Strong. Scarlets clinging on to the defenders at the moment. Ospreys again crossing the gain line. Ball slowed down considerably really, and Scarlets putting the pressure, trying to turn the ball over. Kai Evans acts as number 9, and great hands from tight head Ben Warren there by the Ospreys, putting his fellow player into a hole, crossing the gain line again, and Ospreys on the front foot. Scarlets trying to slow the ball down. They have slightly. Good carry from 7, Harry Deeves with the Ospreys with a yellow scrum cap, and a long pass out from Kai Evans to the wing. Dewi Cross, I believe, gets his hands on the ball, getting excited. Ospreys, the players definitely slowed, but a great play down the blind side. But Rhys Patchell is awake. Good tackle by Rhys Patchell in the corner. Ospreys still looking strong, still recycling the ball, making the hard yards, crossing the gain line. Not much options. The ball has been slowed by the Scarlets. Not many options ahead of them. Therefore, number 2, Cameron Lewis, carries the ball, and they've won a penalty. Aled Evans has had enough. Too much transgression by the Scarlets. A penalty will be coming, but a free play really by the Ospreys. They decide to take it forward. Not much advantage played potentially by Aled Evans, but a bit of fisticuffs, a bit of handbags. I think it's Morgan Jones getting involved.
Just getting acquainted, I think. A couple of back rows just getting acquainted there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what led to that one. And we've got, well, some early poll results. That's very quickly is a good reaction. 98% say they do want to hear us again, Sam.
Must be a lot of family watching.
Yeah, maybe. 2% don't mind. So that could be us.
That'll be the missus.
Well, it is a Friday night. You were supposed to take her out for a meal. What happened? We had a late call on, when was it? Wednesday. You said, boys, we can do some commentary tonight if you don't mind. And we thought, yeah, what the hell? We don't get paid for this, as you can obviously tell. But we do enjoy it. We are enjoying. But moving back to the rugby, we should bring things back to the rugby. Some great play for the Ospreys. A good defence by Scarlets in the end, but unfortunately, Ospreys went through the phases, must have gone through 10, 11, 12 phases there, really. Yeah. Good defence by the Scarlets, but definitely, I think there were a couple of warnings from Aled Evans and a couple of rucks prior for the Scarlets boys to stay on their feet. Looks like they came from the side, I think, was the decision. But Ospreys not deciding to go for the points. We've got Josh Thomas kicking to the corner.
They smell blood. They smell blood, I think.
Yeah, they're looking strong. They again want to put that the Scarlets line out really. They've looked okay defensively. It's an attack where they've had more issues, but I'm sure Ospreys are looking strong. They're keeping the ball quite tight, but they are spreading it at the right moment at present.
Yeah, very patient. They've been very patient with it. I think the hard yards, especially in the Scarlets' third of the pitch, has been very strong from the Ospreys. They've cleverly shifted the point of contact a few times, to the point where Scarlets then going to have to start committing some penalties if they want to try and get the defence back in shape.
Yeah, and they've definitely set up the driving maul, but again, Aled Evans, the referee, waiting to give the penalty. I think the Scarlets players collapsed the driving maul there, pulled down the driving maul, so a penalty by the referee, and no doubt the Ospreys again will look to go to the corner, try again the driving maul, I imagine, see how far they get, and if there is another penalty, then the referee might have to look for it into his pocket.
Yeah, I think boys will be lucky to get away with another penalty without a card coming. There's been a couple of them now. It's been all Ospreys the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, the throw goes in. Hugh Sutton catches well. Line out and driving maul is set up. It's going to be difficult for the Scarlets to stop it from there. Tend to be going across the field, and definitely a couple of players detached from the back of the maul. But
that's great counter maul there. Fantastic counter maul.
Ball was held up by the Scarlets. So
Harry O'Connor's put a shift in there, I think. He's attacked the ball there. As they've begun to splinter off, fairly big hit, carried them back, and then they've forced the turnover. It's good work from him there.
Good, and there'll be relief from the Scarlets coaches there on the bench. It's Emmet Phillips as head coach with this team over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, he'll be a relieved man with a chance to the Scarlets to relieve some pressure. It has been building. It's been disappointing in some respects. Just a couple of small mistakes, haven't they, really? Have just allowed Ospreys into the game. The Ospreys have kept the territory, kept the pressure on, and Scarlets really haven't been able to keep on winning possession from lineouts, which means they haven't got their game going at all.
Absolutely, the scrum's been a fairly solid platform for them, but unfortunately the line-out's just not functioning at the moment where it should be, and that's prevented them from being able to get some good field position and get some points on the board.
Yeah, great field for Tyler Morgan there from the scrum. Beats the first man and allows him to win about 15 yards. Rhys Patchell with all the time in the world to put the kick in, but the Ospreys not on the back foot, giving a cheap penalty away there. Really is nothing worse really, and giving a cheap penalty away in the opposition 22. They're under pressure, they've got to clear the ball. You've got to make sure you're squeaky clean to give away a penalty there.
No, absolutely, and the pressure they've piled on there, they'll probably be a bit annoyed that they've not come away with some points. Likewise, Scarlets, I think, will be quite pleased with that defensive set, to hold them there and still come away only the 14 points down. I think's good. But as we say, there's plenty to work on set piece wise to get up the pitch.
Yeah, no, there is an injury to Tyler Morgan. He is receiving some treatment. Hopefully he'll be okay. It was a good carry from Tyler, to be fair. Was under a lot of pressure off that scrum, but he's okay. He's back on his feet, and play will continue. Rhys Patchell with the penalty will try and bring Scarlets up to at least their 10-yard line, but they do have an issue. It will be a Scarlets line-out, which has been very unsuccessful so far. But Rhys Patchell does find touch right in front of the Oil for Wales advertising board here at Parc y Scarlets, just inside the halfway.
Shameless. That's a bit better from Morgan McRae there.
Yeah, there's a confidence builder for Morgan. A lovely line out. Great ball off the top for the Scarlets. Rhys Patchell puts the high kick in. It comes off Keelan Giles' head, but falls into the arms of Kai Evans, who's in the right place again, to be fair. Ospreys shifting that point of contact again, to be fair.
That's the third time they've gone for that kick in, obviously targeting Keelan Giles on this right hand side. First two times I think they have actually come away with the ball, but on that occasion not.
Yeah, another box kick from the Ospreys, but this time Josh Phillips under the high ball, he's secure. Caleb Salmon working hard there to try and make a couple of yards for the Scarlets. Now the ball painfully slow, but plenty of time for Luke Davis to clear the pressure. Tommy Rodge competing, probably blocked. I think it was my first instinct that a couple of blockers were coming in to protect Keelan Giles, and it didn't allow Tommy Rogers to get up in the air, so it looked like a good decision from Aled Evans, but that's coming from two biased Scarlets fans here. And the Ospreys might see it differently, but there's another penalty, back-to-back penalties, unfortunately given away by the Ospreys to allow Scarlets now to move play into their 22. So from being 10 yards out, really, and under pressure, there's a couple of penalties from the Ospreys has allowed the Scarlets now to get just outside the Ospreys 22.
This will be a test now for Morgan. As we say, Scarlets kind of turn to put on a bit of pressure now if they can try and get into Ospreys 22 here with this platform and get some points on the board. That's good. That's good.
Good throw again to Morgan Jones. Scarlets turn to try and set up a drive-in line out. There's a bit of pressure on, but the Scarlets decide to play it quickly and hit captain Joe Roberts up in the middle, and a great offload. Carwyn to Opolotu.
Big carry.
Carrying hard, but Scarlets come off their feet. And a bit of argy-bargy yet again. Tommy Rogers throwing the ball away. And I think it was Harry Morgan taking umbrage. They're not happy as the Ospreys have won the penalty. Another cheap penalty really from the Scarlets. They were looking good, looking strong there. Finally to put a bit of pressure on the Ospreys, but I think they just came off their feet, Sam.
Yeah, they've done all the hard work, and to be honest, seeing Carwyn Opolotu come around the corner like that, that's the last person you want to have to defend against 10-15 yards out from your own try line. It's just a shame really that let down the hard work there with a soft penalty again.
And another penalty from the Ospreys. Great pressure, to be fair, in that contact area there from Harry Deeves.
Yeah, we said about it before the game. I thought the breakdown was going to be particularly important, as it always is. But the battle of the two back rows, Harry Deeves and Will Hickey both kind of showing their class at the moment.
Yeah, first opportunity for Harry Deeves really to get over the ball. Looked very strong there, winning the penalty for the Ospreys. And after two penalties to the Scarlets, it's now 2 to the Ospreys. And now an attacking opportunity for the Ospreys. We are having some comments on Facebook today, Sam. You'd be glad to know we've had one from Stephen Morgan. He says, "To be honest, boys, I'm impressed with the level of commentary." Thank you for your comment, Stephen Morgan. Also positive comments from Jamie Kitson and Gethin Vove, and also even from a couple of Osprey supporters, I believe. They're enjoying the commentary. So we will try and remain impartial.
It's difficult not to enjoy the commentary when you're 14-0 up, I think.
Well, yes, quite possibly. Good tackle there. Keelan Giles looking dangerous with ball in hand, putting in a couple of lovely steps, but he's well marshalled. The ball has been spilled by the Ospreys, but a couple of knock-ons, unfortunately. The second by Carwyn Opolotu. An opportunity, a free play for the Ospreys, looking to pass it wide, and good feet from number 13, Callum Carson again. Ball a bit slow, so Ospreys trying to regain a bit of shape now. A couple of cardies from the forwards will remedy that, but unfortunately the ref brings it back. It was a knock-on by Carwyn Opolotu when there was a hint of a turnover, a hint of a counter-attack potentially, but unfortunately Carwyn loses the ball forward, and it's a scrum for the Ospreys on the Scarlets 10-yard line.
A chance to see what the Scarlet scrum's up to again now.
It's good intensity in the game, isn't it, to be fair? We were concerned. It's a Scarlets Development. It's a development match against an A team. Both are mixed teams. They've got a couple of A team players, a couple of development players in there, so they're both very mixed teams. But one thing you get with the Scarlets Ospreys games is definite intensity.
No, 100%, and we said there's a lot of young lads out there with a point to prove, as well as obviously older heads coming back from injury or trying to get some more game time. So they're definitely not going to pay any kind of respect for reputation. They're going to be coming out to play hard, fast rugby. Yeah.
Ball behind for the Ospreys, looking to bring Keelan Giles into a bit of space. He does cross the gain line, and it's quick ball for the Ospreys. Now we've seen this a few times. Morgan Strong hitting a good short angle, crossing the gain line off the quick ball that the Ospreys are developing, but a couple of passes behind. Kai Evans sensing that there's nothing on, so puts in a lovely kick in behind the Scarlets defence, cross field. Hand over the touchline.
To be fair to the Ospreys, they've managed to find the space in and behind at the right times.
Very did attack well, to be fair. And a dodgy line out from the Scarlets. It
I
might
think
be
he's
just short.
made it. I thought he'd made
I
it.
think it's just short. We won't have a TMO here today. Sam, if we do have a TMO, undoubtedly he would be biased, but no, it doesn't matter. Harry Deves crosses, hits a good short angle again to score a try for the Ospreys, a third Ospreys try within 35 minutes of this first half. Disappointment from the Scarlets, all again stemmed from that line out.
No, 100%. And I think, to be honest with you, the forwards would be looking forward to going back in the sheds just as an opportunity to kind of reassess, understand what the issue has been, because unfortunately it's not been functioning. We've hit probably 20-30% of lineouts tops. But again, good hard run in from the back row on the Ospreys again.
Yeah, making the most of
definitely.
it, to be fair. They've still got to score the try, haven't they? Even though Morgan McRae unfortunately missed the jumper. He did definitely go for a bit of tempo there, Sam, to try and go for a quick line out, to not give an opportunity for the Ospreys line out jumpers to get up in the air. They didn't get up in the air, but unfortunately the ball went over the top, and I believe it was Garnin Phillips who picked up the loose change. Nearly crossed himself, but didn't panic at the right moment, to be fair to Garin.
I must admit, I thought he made it, and I don't know many loose heads who would have recycled that ball back if they thought they'd scored that try. So fair play to him.
Yeah, we would have definitely had a TMO if it was a league match or a European match, but unfortunately not available on this live stream. Maybe. Oh, we're just being bought a cup of tea as well by the boys.
Kai Evans, another fantastic kick off the tee there, 100% from him so far.
Distracted by my cup of tea arriving. It has got a bit cooler here at Parc y Scarlets to this evening, mind you. Not to say that it's still not perfect conditions for a game of rugby. And we've closed the poll on whether you think it's worth doing again. Unfortunately, we did have some fans who don't want to hear us again, Sam.
Must be rigged.
I'm not sure if Jamie can hear me on this commentary, but the tea's a bit strong. I don't know. I would prefer a bit more milk. Jamie, if you're listening, can I have a bit more milk in my tea, please?
Reece Patchell changes the point of attack as well, kicking to the left off the restart there.
Something the Scarlets got to do, vary it a bit, you mean?
I think so, yeah. Unfortunately, some of the things that we've looked to try haven't come off, bar the first few phases we had at the very beginning of the half. I think the fact that we've kicked long and right off every restart's given them a lot of time to kind of recoup. And Harry Morgan, as we've pointed out a couple of times now, he's been very quick with the boot today, and he's been quite sharp with it as well.
Yeah, and as much as 7 fans don't want to hear this again, we've got 235 that do.
That's a good line out from Morgan.
Scarlets on the front foot, a bit untidy behind actually.
Good
Tommy
carry.
Rogers to a good carry, to be fair, from skipper Joe Roberts over the gain line.
That's a great pass.
It is a good pass with an opportunity. Oh, good strong carry from, I believe it was Eddie. I think it was
Eddie James.
Eddie James on the wings. Good strong carry, beat the first man, powered through, but unfortunately put a foot in touch, and it'll be a line out to the Ospreys.
Playing out of position today, Eddie, as well. I've been reliably informed he regularly occupies the centre role, and you can see that with the hard carrying down that touchline there. But again, it just goes to show, play with a bit more intent once we've got the platform from the line out.
More secure ball from the Ospreys line out. Getting the hard carries of Morgan Strong across the gain line again, who does well. Back in the pocket, Harry Morgan kicks it long.
Plenty of time there, plenty of time.
And a dummy kick from Eddie James. Ospreys don't fall for it,
Plenty
but
of
it's
width.
definitely on now with the Scarlets look to go wide. Ospreys caught a little bit tight and they released Tommy Rogers, but Keelan Giles. Great defence from Keelan Giles, even though they looked as though
sidelines.
They might have been caught a bit narrow. Keelan Giles with that pace manages to get the tackle out to Tommy Rodge, and even though there's a great outflow from Tommy Rodge, Ospreys cover are there, they're across, they're defending the numbers, and they win again. Another turnover.
Yeah, it's better intent again though, as opposed to where we've possibly kicked earlier in the half in those sorts of situations, looking to run the ball there, and boys look dangerous. Tommy Rogers, if you give him an inch with ball in hand, he'll run a mile.
Yeah, it looked like an opportunity, didn't it? But I think, to be fair, Keelan knew we had a couple of guys to cover there, but he trusted his pace, made sure he got out from, I think he moved across from Josh Phillips over to his opposite winger, Tommy Rodge. and got the tackle in, and a very effective tackle it was. And unfortunately the Scarlets have knocked it on, and this has been the story of the first half of the Scarlets, unfortunately, hasn't it? They haven't been able to go through any period of play, really. Haven't been able to go through phases to try and put pressure on. They've turned the ball over far too easily.
No, absolutely. It has unfortunately been mainly Ospreys for the majority of the half. I think, as you say, boys will probably be looking ahead to going into the sheds and just kind of reassessing and coming out a fresh second half.
Yeah, they get plenty of messages in, don't they? During the game, they've got the water carriers going on, bringing messages, so there can't be anything too new, really, from the coaches. You'd imagine they've already got those messages on for the line-out, but it's a great strong count.
It's a great scrum.
Scarlets.
It's a fantastic
again,
scrum.
Ospreys get it back and cross the gain line from a retreating scrum. It's great work for the Ospreys.
Harry Deves making himself a nuisance again, and they've won the penalty.
Yeah, they are winning quick ball in the Ospreys. There's not much pressure in the contact area by the Scarlets currently, so the Ospreys doing what they want, really, and just hitting some good short angles off the scrum half, off Morgan Strong, hitting some good holes, winning the ball so quickly it didn't give a chance for the Scarlets defenders to get back on side. So quite right, penalty given.
Dare I say, big carry from Oshan Knott as well, very hard up the middle, allowed him to get on the front foot there. Harry Deves picks quick and catches us on the back foot, really.
Yeah, we do have a blood injury, unfortunately, for the Ospreys. Harry Morgan, who's been involved in everything by the Ospreys, kept the Scarlets under pressure, really, with a great kicking game. So they will have to make a change, a blood replacement for the Ospreys. I can't yet see who's coming on, but the Ospreys, to be fair, even though they're a young team, they're very professional. We've got a couple of boys gone down, a front rower gone down with injury. Just trying to delay that line out to give them an opportunity for the player to come on. I believe it's Harvey Nash coming on.
Best haircut on the pitch there, Gar. Best haircut on the pitch.
I think that's a great mullet, isn't it, Sam?
That's a fantastic mullet, that is. Absolutely fantastic.
I don't know if I could see you one of those.
I think you look good in a mullet still.
You've got your dirty Movember, really, that we haven't even mentioned yet, unfortunately.
Thankfully the mic's covering it, but there's not much to cover.
Pull the microphone away.
Good line-out from the Ospreys.
You carry on, Sam.
And shifting the ball wide here. That's a good step from Kai Evans.
Yeah, Kai Evans. Decide Tyler Morgan goes for...
Yeah, good steal.
Does go for it. The referee allows him to get away with it. I don't think he quite got to the back foot, but I believe he was the tackler.
Plenty of room
now
out wide.
It's on. It's a turnover ball. Tommy Rogers in a bit of space. Decides to cut inside.
Oh, it's a great
Callum
bump.
Castle. But good Ospreys cover there yet again. Caleb Salmon trying to clear out. He slowed the ball down, the Ospreys, and it hard carries now by Morgan Jones of the Scarlets. But the ball, for the first time, the Scarlets getting excited. Got numbers out wide and passing it wide. And there, a good carry from Morgan McRae out wide in the winger's position. Ball's been slowed up and a great hit, great line speed from the Ospreys.
A bit too quick off the line there for my liking.
Yeah, the referee, Harlan Evans, brings them back for a previous transgression. A tackle with the shoulder without dropping the arms, I believe, is given a penalty to the Scarlets. It's going to be Rhys Patchell, I imagine, to try and kick to the corner. I'm not sure how much time is left. He has asked the referee potentially. So maybe
he's gone for the post.
Oh, well, obviously now, even if the time is up, he can kick to the corner and have an opportunity to throw in the line out. But I think they probably are doing the right things. They need some points on the board, don't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is 21-0. Even 3 points at this stage will be a lift before half-time for the Scarlets.
I think it's just a case of points on the board now, isn't it? And I mean, the line-out's been a bit of a lottery. It's not enough to kind of to bet on, even with the last play of the half. So I think it's probably the smart thing to do. It gives us a platform back into the game on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, sorry, I am being biased. I would like Rhys to kick it over the post and give us 3 points if possible. Good strike from Rhys.
He's given a whack. That's out of the nudge.
Over it goes, and that is the last action of this first half. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are going to have a few messages from some partners of ours, but please rejoin us after the break. The score currently is 21-3 to the Ospreys. Plenty of work to do for the Scarlets. Ospreys looking comfortable at half-time.
It's been a tough time for everyone. Throughout it all, Oil for Wales has been there, supporting the Scarlets and supporting the community. That support has meant everything. Diolch yn fawr I Colin a thîm Olaw dros Gymru am eich cefnogaeth anhygoel. We look forward to continuing our partnership into the new season. Thank you. Diolch.
Yeah, we've had a little bit less of focus this week, probably planning a bit more for the SA trip, but we've had a good run there with the young group, including a lot of the academy boys again this week, which has been great for them. So really pleased with how last week went, and not just the performance, seeing the boys around the senior group and seeing how a working week works for them. So I've been really chuffed, and it's a really exciting game for the boys.
The Scarlets.
Yeah, it's great. Hopefully Parc can put in back-to-back performances. He's been really good in the group driving standards, helping the younger boys pick up on a few things. And we've had Lee Halfpenny on the coaching staff as well, and it's been excellent to see. Just seeing the younger boys out there now with Patch and Lee, and if they can pick up 1% from those two boys, then they're going to be better players for it. So it's been a huge positive for us the last 2 weeks. It's a chance to play an Ospreys A Scarlets derby, which is huge. So we're expecting a physical battle. The local derby always is. I know it's got a development act to it, but it's a local derby, so that's what we've driven through to the boys. Really hope that we're physical both sides of the ball and get the chance to throw it around a bit. Yeah, I think it's a great chance for the crowd to see what the next crop coming through is looking like. We've got a successful academy year, and we're quite confident that a lot of the boys are going to be stepping up this weekend. They're going to be here for a long time. So it's a great chance.
Welcome back to Parc y Scarlets for the second half. Just about to get underway with Josh Thomas kicking long and right as the Ospreys are playing.
Can't believe we made it to a second half.
And a hard carry back with a couple of changes for Scarlets. Samuel Jones, that was at number 23, and a ball out to Cadwyn Top to Whippalotu, making a couple of hard yards again. Now, there's definitely intent from the Scarlets here. We will try and give you as much information as we can regarding the sub-half-time replacements. That will come in time. But it definitely looks like Rhys Patchell has potentially made way. Josh Phillips looks like he's playing at outside half. And Archie Hughes and Samuel Jones are on replacement backs who've come on. But it's quick ball from Scarlets, trying to play with some tempo at the moment and going quite wide, not troubling the Ospreys too much at the moment, but still looking at going in wide, and then pass behind. Half an opportunity for the Scarlets, but well defended there, to be fair, by Dewi Cross with a good tackle. Slower ball by the Scarlets, but Cadwyn on the outside swerve this time, looking dangerous, but who's strong again over the ball? It's Harry Dees, doesn't quite get his hands on it this time, and the pass unfortunately goes behind number 22 Archie Hughes, I believe. And Cadwyn again making his fourth carry now in this phase of rugby. The ball out again, and Steph Thomas making the carry off outside half. Josh Phillips,
good retention,
quick ball and good hands.
Good retention early doors, some good phase play there. Joe Roberts kicking it off, some good attacking, intent with ball in hand again, making some good hard yards. Cadwyn to Whippalotu again, big carries from him.
The ball slips through Jack Price's hands but goes straight into Morgan Jones's hands following that, so the ball's not knocked on and the play continues. And Scarlets still trying to probe, trying to look for these offloads. Ospreys defence very well organised at the moment, seem comfortable. Ball is now slow. Scarlets are going to have to build. They decide. Oh, it's a lovely angle from Iestyn Rhys. Just delays the pass slightly. It was well defended by Josh Thomas, to be fair. Stayed off the man for as long as he could, and it allowed Keelan Giles to get back and maybe cut out the pass that was about to be delivered to put the Scarlets into the corner, but it's a turnover. Great run by Iestyn Rhys.
How about the wheels on Iestyn Rhys?
Yeah.
Cracking leg drive.
And Ospreys clear. Good defence in the end. Looked like it was a definite 2-on-1. Scarlets decide to keep up the tempo. There's definitely a change in momentum, hopefully, from the Scarlets this second half. Seem to have an intent. Want to challenge on the defences. And unfortunately, it is a knock-on from Morgan Jones. He was on his own, but he did carry well. It's just unfortunately. Ball popped out to his hands. There's a good hit from the Ospreys. Not sure, I was unsighted really, not sure who made the hit. But dislodged the ball in the tackle. Morgan Jones be disappointed to lose that one forward. But definitely more tempo in the second half from Scarlets, Sam.
100%, and I think that the way they've looked after the ball in the ruck has been a lot better. They seem to have tied it up a bit. There's always at least one Ospreys player going for the jackal, and despite that they've managed to kind of sort them out early in the second half, whereas in the first half they've probably been half a second too slow.
Yeah, they have changed around. We do have Tommy Rogers at full back, and Samuel Jones, Archie Hughes have made their way onto the wings. A couple of changes for the Ospreys. We've seen that Cameron Jones is on the field. He's on in the front row. Still no blood replacement. Harvey Nash, still 22, still on the field. Those are the only ones I've seen from the Ospreys currently. There's a change at hooker for the Scarlets as well, it seems. Lewis Morgan, number 16, is on the field. Scrum seemed to be a positive for the Scarlets in the first half, without being dominant, but they seem to be putting the Ospreys under pressure in the scrum. They'll want to continue that now, no doubt.
100%. Some good intent again there from that scrum, but
it's a great carry again, to be fair, on a scrum that was going backwards. Morgan strong.
Yeah, he's picked well there, isn't he? He's picked very well.
Yeah, he has. It has been a scrum that has been going somewhat backwards for the Ospreys. He's made some yards. It reminds me, now I shouldn't say this for a youngster really, but when I used to play with Scott Cornell, the scrum used to run backwards and he used to pop out and make 5 yards. And he's made some similar carries, to be fair to him.
I'm not that young. I do know who Scott Cornell is. It's all right.
And a throw in. This time coming from Lewis Morgan. Scarlets hoping to tidy up the line out from the first half.
Yeah, that's a good start for him. That's a good start. Interesting.
Crossfield kick.
Same with that crossfield kick on the left-hand side again.
Asking Samuel Jones to make the chase.
It's a good offload from Tommy Rogers as well there.
Yeah, ball may have been lost forward. Not knocked on first of all by the Ospreys that Aled Evans, the referee, decides. So it will be a scrum for the Scarlets. Good varying the tactics, really, to be fair, by the Scarlets, really, from the start of the second half. They've mixed it up. They kept a lot of ball in hand. And Josh Phillips there deciding to go with the crossfield.
No, 100%. And I don't think it would be, it's not by any stretch of the imagination panic stations yet, but they want to get some points on the board early in the half. Try and move some pressure back over to the Ospreys. The style of play at the minute, as you say, has been pretty varied in comparison to the first half.
And another couple of messages from Diane Strong-Griffiths. There's a hint there, possibly. She's loving the live feed, seeing as she couldn't get down to watch her grandson Morgan Strong, and he is playing well. Diane, there's no wonder you're enjoying the live stream. He's having a great game. You must be very proud. Good interplay by the Scarlets.
Yeah, lovely no-look pass there in the middle of the park.
Gets Eddie James crossing the gain line and a half opportunity. Samuel Jones decides to kick ahead.
Someone down there.
A tackle potentially not wrapped again. Maybe a tackle with the
I think ref's
shoulder.
looking at this.
No, he is going to his pocket to look at a.
He's brandishing the deck.
At a card. It is a yellow card.
It's Osher is it? It is Osher.
I think it is Osher. There's a high hit, it seems, without dropping his arms. Happened so quickly, and unfortunately we won't be able to see any replays, as I mentioned earlier. So unfortunately we won't be able to see those replays. But quite inventive play there from the Scarlets. It got them into a half hole, and there was a great opportunity, I think, for Samuel Jones. Really decided to kick ahead, but the referee brought the play back due to that transgression.
No, I think the Sam may have been, ref may have called advantage there, because certainly an interesting kick to put in with two in the backfield and the 22 there. But as you say, playing with a pace that we perhaps didn't have in the first half with ball in hand. Yeah,
and while we've got the injury, just want to remind you, there's another poll for the second half on Facebook. It's would you like to see more of the development games streamed live? Hoffech chi weld fwy o'r gemau yma yn fyw, felly rwch gwybod i ni, mae'n rhoi syniad da i ni i weld os gariwn ni ymlaen. Mae'r boi dyn ni ma, Mr Adil Mukta, sy'n edrych ar y technoleg, ochr technoleg i ni hyn yma. Mae'n neud jobyn da mor belled, ond sa'n rhaid gormod o bethau da amdano fe, a gofon mae pethau yn gallu cael ei ddinistrio yn eitha gyflym. Ond, please let us know what you think of the poll, and we will look to see if we can do it again if we have enough of a positive reaction. Unfortunately, still that injury.
Yes, Josh Phillips it is this down.
Oh yeah, Josh Phillips, who switched to outside half for this second half, really. Did put in some nice patterns there, had some great angles running off him, so obviously he must have caught one high, unfortunately. But he is getting back to his feet. He looks okay, you know, obviously the care from the physios is second to none nowadays. It doesn't look like he's... it's not a head injury, obviously,
no, it doesn't look like a head injury.
but does look shaken up, doesn't he? Maybe he took one to the shoulder.
Well, I did look in the notes before this that he's got quite a big kick on him as well, because he was playing out of position at fullback. He's a fly-half naturally. Be interesting to see what he can do with that right peg.
Yeah, Josh Phillips from the Rhondda, representing the Scarlets here tonight. East coming to the west, and a chance to put the Scarlets into the Ospreys 22.
Yeah, he's given that a good nudge.
Yeah, and that's what he does. Gets the play just inside the 22. Scarlets definitely simplified the line out for the second half. We saw the first throw by Lewis Morgan go straight to the front to Jack Price. So we'll see if they'll keep the percentage ball. I'm sure they do. They just want to keep the ball and make sure they don't turn it over.
There's one good thing about the options they have today. There's 4 solid line-out jumpers in the pack.
Yeah, it's a good rumble on from the Scarlets. Ospreys
like it.
haven't pulled it down as yet, so Scarlets have made 5 yards.
Yes.
We got Luke Davis back in the orders, but the Scarlets have kept it alive.
Yeah, it's well defended there by Harry Deves. It's well defended.
Luke Davis getting Caleb Salmon out to carry hard, and he has carried well. There was a quick ball back to Morgan Jones, who carries the time after. Now Steph Thomas.
That's a good hit.
Yeah, good defence by the Ospreys. Great low hit by the Ospreys front rower. And Caleb Salmon again on the carry, on a rumble. Scarlets definitely keeping it tight, and that was tight head Harry O'Connor going through, recycling the ball. Pressure on from the Ospreys. Definitely think they got a hint of it. But Scarlets have decided to go it wide. It's time to go wide. So Ospreys are there with numbers, and the ball has become slow. So scrum half, Luke Davis decides to use, goes forwards again, and it's well defended by number 8, Morgan Strong there, who was strong over the ball. Sorry, I don't know, it just came out that one.
He is living up to his name, to be fair.
Yeah. Did well there. Had half an opportunity, didn't he? The Scarlets decided to go wide. It wasn't on. Luke Davis decided to come the other way, and even though the carrier wasn't isolated, it was good work by Morgan, really, and keeping the ball and winning the penalty.
I thought it showed good patience. Ultimately, simple error there. He's been isolated, but on the whole, that looks a world apart to where we were in the first half. Line out looked comfortable, solid maul there as well. Unlucky really not to come away with something, but depending on how this line out goes, obviously it's probably still be in the Ospreys half.
Yeah, you understand why the Scarlets went wide. They're down to 14 men now, the Ospreys. You understand them going wide. It may have been a little bit early. They didn't really change the defensive picture, and the Ospreys defenders were there in numbers to get that turnover. So the Ospreys will slow it down for the next phase of play. I'm sure they are a man down, and that's why outside half Josh Thomas has taken his time to kick the ball over the touchline on their own 10-yard line. But the Ospreys look to be making a couple of changes. It's number 24, Tian Thomas Wheeler, who comes on to the field. Unsure who he's in place of yet.
That's a good steal. That's a great steal.
Throwing a wide one, and a lot of wide passes. 3 wide passes from the Scarlets. Gets them into a bit of space. It's a 2-on-1.
It's got to go.
Unfortunately, Joe Roberts, I think, just kept hold of it.
Good carry.
A strong carry from Carwyn. Crossing the gain line. Good ball from the Scarlets again. And a good hit, to be fair, by number 2. I think it was Cameron Lewis there from the Ospreys.
There's some sore bodies tomorrow.
And another turnover again. Scarlets not quite supporting the carrier quickly enough. Unfortunately, I think Morgan Jones went off his feet fairly early. I didn't identify the correct person in the contact. I'm not sure who it was, but there was a good turnover.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is a shame, because the pace we put on the ball out wide there down the left looked good. Ospreys definitely on the back foot. Just a case of support, I guess, in the contact area. Archie Hughes is now on the scrum half as well for Luke Davis, and he's injected a good bit of pace. I think they've muddled the jerseys round.
Yeah, good spot. I didn't pick that one, Sam. Well done, good spot. And it's been a better start to the second half from the Scarlets, hasn't it? But they've still got that 18-point deficit. They're obviously sniffing blood. Ospreys down to 14 men, but they haven't changed that defensive picture yet from the Ospreys. They've still looked comfortable defending, even though there's more enterprise from the Scarlets.
Yeah, no, and the Ospreys' defensive line has looked good, and they've reacted when they've had to. Backs came around the corner from left to right there, where potentially we may have gone a phase too early, but the Ospreys read it, and they were there in numbers.
And the early poll results again. It's only on Facebook, the poll, but it's 96% would like to see these games streamed, saying that would be great, but 4% saying no, I don't watch them. So, yeah, it looks like it's positive, and we'll try and keep it going. But back to the game. There is a replacement, and it's Ospreys who are clearing the pressure, and again get to play out to their own 10-yard line. Lost the last line out. I think it's the first loss for the Ospreys line out during this game.
Yeah, correct.
Actually turned the ball over, lost possession, give Scarlets another attacking opportunity. So Ospreys do secure it this time. And I believe it's Morgan again carrying the ball from the back of the line out.
Plenty of room back there.
Yeah. Go back into a structured play from the Ospreys. We saw it in the first half, and they saw it with a lot of success. They're using the box kick. They're very effective in the box kick. And the ball is spilled, unfortunately. And the Ospreys retain possession, but we're now well within the Scarlets half.
Yeah, first bit of pressure this half.
Yeah, good tackle that time from Morgan Jones. But Ospreys ball again. Using the runners again, to be fair. Offloading the ball or passing the ball just before contact is asking questions of the Scarlets defence. Here we'll go again. Morgan Strong, need I say any more?
He's met him on the gain line there. He's met him on the gain line.
Yeah. Plenty of numbers there from the Scarlets, but good pace and good strength from number 24. That's Tyson Thomas Wheeler crossing the gain line, and a great angle and a great hit by the Scarlets.
Always rocked him.
It's a great offload. They found the gap. Number 6.
Majestic arms and the mullet of Harvey Nash there.
Yeah. Will Hickey pulled down just short. He thought he was under the post, but the play now is 5 yards from the Scarlets line.
Good day.
Ospreys decide to recycle, decide to slow down the ball, get their patterns, get their bit of composure back.
I've got the penalty.
Yeah, the penalty is coming. Scarlets, the Ospreys down to 14 as well. It'd be a huge bonus if they get any points from this period of play. Again, looking strong, and it's a lovely step. The Scarlets run out of numbers, and it's a try there by Josh Thomas.
Yeah, and to be fair to Josh Thomas, he's had a good game up until this point. He's managed it well. He's taken that try quite well as well.
Yeah, disappointment from the Scarlets. Looking good at the start of this second half. But the Ospreys, to be fair, even though they're down to 14 men, we had Morgan again. I don't want to go on too much about Morgan Strong, but to be fair to him, he's evident. And
he's not giving you much choice, Mike.
No, to be fair, he's having a great game, carrying well. But just those hard yards that he won allowed scrum half just to make some yards. They looked good, they looked strong, and once the Ospreys crossed the gain line, they were under the post. They looked comfortable again, and the Scarlets defenders, unfortunately, they ran out of numbers, and it was an easy try in the end from Josh Thomas, making the score 26-3, with the conversion to come from Kai Evans, who has looked comfortable, kicking for goal. It does admittedly take a while, so you've got plenty of time to give us your expert opinion while he lines this one up, Sam.
Well, you put me on the spot now.
What do the Scarlets need to do now? Well, they've got a number of changes, looks like, to come onto the field. They've brought energy second half, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Whilst we watch Kai miss his first kick of the day, so the score remains 26-3. To the Ospreys.
It's the first bit of pressure they've really put us under this half, and unfortunately it's kind of taken its toll. It'll be interesting to see if fresh legs coming on now will be able to kind of influence the game. Phil Price bringing the average age up on the bench, coming on for Steph Thomas.
Yeah, we've got Alex Jeffries as well, Oshan Davis coming on, and Luca Giannini as well coming onto the field, hoping to bring some energy into those Scarlets legs. Secure ball from the Ospreys. Number 22, Harvey Nash, guiding his forwards around the corner, but he decides to kick it long down the throat of Tommy Rogers. Tommy Rogers looking to counter-attack.
Yeah, that's the first one that Harvey Nash has put a bit long, I think. He's taken over the mantle from where Harry Morgan left off quite well with the boot.
Yeah.
That's a good carry.
Looking to Cadwyn Tuopolotu again.
Harry Deeves making a real nuisance of himself, mind.
And a penalty to the Scarlets this time, and it goes quickly.
That's lovely hands. Oh, that's good.
Ball's recycled. Not sure, there's some confusion with numbers potentially. I'll try and get you an update on those changes. I believe it's Archie wearing 21 at the moment, but we'll see. Ball's out. Good hands by the Scarlets, finding a bit of space on the edges of the Ospreys defence, but not enough to trouble them as yet. It's a strong carry.
Good carry from Morgan.
Ball's still fairly slow. Good defence by the Ospreys. Ball is slow. Scarlets are going to have to rebuild. I think it's Jack Price carrying there, creating a bit of quicker ball. And Archie,
he's keen to make an impact on the game, Archie Hughes.
Yeah.
Give him a sniff at the edge of that ruck, he will go.
And here we go then, the pass is behind, not much really
that's high,
on.
ref.
No, it was a high tackle on Tommy Rodge. Did manage to get the Ospreys, so the referee playing advantage and a half an opportunity. Phil Price looking strong
from Phil Price
on the carry, and he puts the hand. No. Unfortunately, it's the wrong decision there. From Samuel Jones, it was there undoubtedly a 2-on-1. He had Jack Price on his outside, I believe, and we know Jack Price does have some gas there. But very keen, wanted to make an impact, but potentially the wrong decision. But having said that, the ref comes back for the high tackle. It's another penalty for the Scarlets. No point looking to kick a goal. They've got to look to the corner and maybe give a couple of the older heads have come on now for the Scarlets, haven't they? Phil Price, Alex Jeffries is on. It might be a different way of playing, just to try and use these boys, use their physicality, maybe close to the Ospreys line.
Well, I don't know about physicality. If Phil Price can dummy and put the footwork on like that every week, he'll be starting 10. Sent someone to the shops there, but no, I just feel a bit sorry for Samuel Jones. I think he may have just panicked slightly there with ball in hand. One either side of him, really. Thankfully got the penalty advantage, so hopefully he'll make this count now with a nice driving ball.
Yeah, and it's Lloyd Ashley coming onto the field for the Ospreys, so we saw him on this field representing the Scarlets about a month ago, so good to see him back, but obviously wearing the black shirt of the Ospreys tonight. But Scarlets slow down the line out. Obviously wanted to put in a bit of pressure now. It's a good take by Jack Price.
Yeah, it's a great take.
Ospreys looks like somebody has worked their way through the middle. I think it's Lloyd Ashley trying to get his arms onto the ball, just fails to do so.
Yeah, he's moved
and the
his spine
Scarlets
as well.
actually hard on a mini rumble, but they've dragged down Hall just short of the line. I think it's Alex Jeffries, an ex-Osprey, wanting to go for the carry. But
Harry Deeves,
he's tackled over the line by Harry Deeves.
Yeah, Harry Deeves being a real nuisance again.
Obvious in the yellow scrum cap, isn't he? Was up against the power of Alex Jeffries, but the referee brings back. He was, I believe, playing advantage, or the touch judge may have had a word when they weren't on the back foot. Penalty still comes to the Ospreys, but Harry Deeves, I believe, has an injury, so the referee would like that checked before the Scarlets carry on with the penalty. Good rumble from the Scarlets.
Absolutely, and Josh Phillips's kick as well into the corner was pretty special as well. But no, I think they've just got to keep the pressure on now. They've obviously got to come away from this situation with some points on the board. Clock is ticking, and if they want to get within reach of that 26 points for the Ospreys, they're going to have to get a try from here, realistically.
Have to score. Now the poll has closed. It's 97% of you want to see more games streamed live, as 3% with a no. So 165 votes to the positive, so that's always good. And Sam, whisper it quietly. It looks like there's some burgers coming here. Are they for us? I'm not sure. I think they're for the...
I think I've had enough.
Yeah, I think they're for the crew, unfortunately. But no, they have. They've bypassed us, Sam. So we've got to get on with the commentary and on with the Scarlets line out. They have set up the driving ball, but there's
someone's hands on that. Yeah,
are in there. But the Scarlets work it back slowly. It's now in the hands of Lewis Morgan. The replacement hooker was trying to get the shove on. We got Archie Hughes.
Oh, it's hard lines.
Giving the short ball, and unfortunately,
Eddie James fancied that one. He fancied that one
forward. Yeah, he did hit a good a good hold, but unfortunately the pass was just behind him. But the Scarlets again, guilty again of losing possession in the key moments, Sam. So I just want to warn you, we are a few minutes into this second half. I need some analysis from you, because I want to take a bite of my pulled pork roll.
Garen Evans, ever the athlete, everyone. Yeah, no, I think obviously there's a lot of youth in the side today, and you can kind of see that with some of the decisions that have been made at key points of the game. I think that Eddie James trying to make himself busy there, as you say, hit the right line. I just think maybe Archie give him that pass a bit hard, and obviously there's a touch behind him. And if you're going to run those lines at brick wall defences, the pass has got him in spot on. The intent's there, the intent is there, but unfortunately it's going to have to turn into points soon. Else it's going to run away from him a little bit.
Phil, you filled the gap well, whilst I was filling my belly with 1 ounce of the pork roll. But the scrum has fallen. So Ospreys put in they are under pressure, and we've got a new front row for the Scarlets here. We have got a bit of experience in Alex Jeffries, Philip Price. So the front row is definitely under pressure, and a challenge for the youngsters who are now on the field in the front row there for the Ospreys. But it is a reset, and referee Aled Evans keeping a close look.
He's quick to ping that.
Yeah, he's judged that Phil Price has pulled down the scrum.
There's a bit of biff.
And a real positive from the Ospreys. They're chuffed with that, even though there's a bit of backbiting, I think, to Alex Jeffries.
Alex Jeffries still on a couple of Christmas card lists. Nice to see.
And another opportunity for the Ospreys to clear. Josh does it that time, not as far as he has been. But still, it's Ospreys line out just near their own 10-yard line, and a couple of changes on for the Ospreys. On come number 23 Dan Edwards and number 20 Tristan Davis. Good to see so many changes.
Harry Deeves coming off as well.
Yeah,
he's had a hell of an afternoon.
Yeah, he played well. There is a large bench on show tonight, but it is about that development, isn't it? These are the next generation of Scarlets and Ospreys and Wales players on show here tonight. So the more they get this experience and get used to this intensity, the better it is for Welsh rugby.
Yeah, completely agree. I think is key for the development of the game. Unfortunate knock on there. Harvey Nash. That's hard lines, but Ospreys come away with the ball. Scrum just inside the Scarlets' 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's been a good weapon for the Ospreys tonight, hasn't it? And on reflection, to be fair, the balls that have been put in the air from Harry Morgan and Harvey Nash, to be fair, have put the Scarlets under pressure. They haven't really dealt with that kicking game too well. They turned over a bit too much, really, a few too many times, and it's just given the Ospreys easy ball, really, 30 yards down the field, and another scrum.
Yeah, 100%. And I must admit, going into this game, I didn't think the kicking battle would be as important. But the Ospreys have used it effectively today. There's been, as you say, a couple of simple errors on the Scarlets' part. But at the same time, Scarlets have looked for that crossfield kick on the left-hand side quite a few times in the first and second half. So interesting that they're using the kicking game at the moment as much as they are.
Yeah, scrum looks a mess, but again, it's the same pattern we see. It's Morgan Strong carrying well from the back of the scrum. A scrum that had gone down. I'm not sure if it wasn't really going backwards, but it definitely went down straight away. But a good hit from Cadwyn to upload to gives Jack Price an opportunity on the ball.
That's got to be a turnover.
And a sniff of a turnover for Scarlets, but Ospreys do get it. And another tip pass again to Lloyd Ashley, this time on Scarlets. Not on the back foot. Ospreys penalty on its way, but they are chancing it.
It's a great tackle.
Good tackle from Archie. But still, that Ospreys...
I think Ospreys still have penalty advantage as well, yeah.
Yeah. All seem to be comfortable in that pattern, don't they? It's not...
Harvey Nash has got all the time in the world on the ball.
Yeah.
Caroline Tupelotu's just hurt.
Yeah, unfortunately the pass, and it looks like there's a card coming to the Scarlets. And Aled Evans has had enough of the transgression. I think it's all from the back foot.
At the risk of being a little bit biased, I couldn't see an awful lot wrong with that, I must admit.
I think it's a couple of transgressions on the back foot, Sam. So referee Aled Evans has had enough. I think you did see him warning the players a couple of times.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not sure, it might have been from an earlier hit that Cadwyn put in, I'm not sure, but I think it was the back foot.
I think it's just my inclination for seeing back rowers catch up with fly-ups.
But there's an injury.
Ospreys again put the pressure on, but as you alluded to, they look so comfortable with ball in hand. They've got a lot of time. Harvey Nash at the back of that breakdown seems to have an absolute age on the ball at the moment.
Yeah. And Dan Edwards puts a lovely kick into the corner there now, puts Ospreys in a great position. Already 26 points to 3 up. They're going to want to be coming away with more points here. Undoubtedly, the Scarlets now down to 14. Ospreys back up to 15.
Yeah, they're going to have to defend well here.
Yeah, lots of changes made on both teams. So apologies on our behalf. It's difficult to keep up with the changes, but lots have been made. We will try and update you and keep you up with the news as much as we can. But there's a good...
Morgan Jones has got his long arms in there, I think.
Yeah, I think he was in the line-out from the initial driving maul. So he hasn't changed his position. So he's deemed to be legal by the referee, but hasn't really...
he's done well there, I think.
Actually held the ball up, and it looks like he's turned the ball over. So there's definitely a maul there. Ospreys will be doing their best to get that ball and win it back.
Yeah, they've done well. They've done well. I'm going to say I feel for Harvey Nash there, because try as he might, you ain't getting the ball back off of Morgan Jones when he's wrapped up in them big arms.
Yeah, not sure if it's Morgan Jones or Jack Price. Might be some confusion with the numbers. But yeah, some great work that time, to be fair. Yeah, Ospreys just allowed him to sneak around the side of the maul. It looked like he was possibly coming in from the side, but referee deemed to have kept his position.
Very unbiased of you, that.
Yeah, I know. But the end result is a scrum to the Scarlets, and they are going to be under pressure. Got to do the basics well, really, to escape here, because it's not really a position really to attack from the Scarlets, but it might be a kick to contest, or is it just a kick to clear the lines and get the play as far away from the Scarlets try line as possible. Penalty.
Yeah, penalty. I think Josh Phillips's big boot will probably fancy this one. Get us upfield, bit of a platform in the opposition half.
Yeah, and
if he can get there.
I think it was Cameron Jones maybe losing his blind, deemed by the referee.
Yeah.
Difficult to see from 50 yards away, especially with my expertise in the scrum. But it's the Scarlets have cleared. They're just outside their 22, and really the 23 points behind Sam. Ospreys defence are there waiting for them, because they know the Scarlets are really going to have to attack from deep, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. They've got nothing to lose now, but at the same time that means that it's hard lines. At the same time that means that there's the opportunity there to pick up on errors where potentially we may look to force it.
Yeah, and not that it was forced, but you can you and I can hear the groans from some Scarlet supporters behind us, really, with another lost line out, and it's been a key element of the game, hasn't it, tonight? And undoubtedly Ospreys tries, Ospreys pressures come from missed Scarlets line out, and we've just had another one there which resulted in a knock on. This again resulted in a scrum to the Ospreys and giving them the Ospreys possession in the Scarlets territory.
Yeah, absolutely, and we don't want to obviously bag the boys, but it's plain to see that the line-out's not been functioning to where it needs to be, and as we've mentioned a fair few times already in the first half, it's just prevented us from getting a decent platform in the pitch and on the game.
Morgan Stroke cutting again.
Harvey Nash at the base goes blind. Morgan Strong, good carry.
Was that a hitch kick?
I think it was just a little hint of a goosey there. I think we'll let him off. He's played well.
Lovely hands.
And that's a great chop tackle from Phil Price as well. Getting down that low at his age. Fair play to him.
Yeah. Ospreys recycling against the 14 men of Scarlets currently after that yellow card. Took out into a Poloto, and see. Unfortunately it loaded Josh Carrington, I believe, on the wing there. Gave him some space, but decided to chip ahead, but unfortunately came off the side of the boot just slightly and just over the touchline. He would have wanted to keep that in play as the Scarlets were scrambling in defence, but the ball has gone out. It's over the touchline, and a couple of players suffering with a bit of cramp at the moment, so medics and paramedics are very busy on the field. They've been very busy the second half, haven't they? They've been on the field a number of times. It has disrupted the flow of the game. We have 2 changes for the Scarlets. Number 25, Bradley Roderick Evans, is on the field, and there's a number 46 who I don't know who on earth this is, Sam. If somebody can help me out, please send us a message on Facebook. Number 46 is on for the Scarlets.
They're not doing us many favours with the kit numbers, are they?
No. But again, it's about giving people opportunity, isn't it?
Looks like Morgan Jones is coming off.
Yeah,
carrying that
to
right
be holding
shoulder.
the shoulder a bit, doesn't he?
He does.
Wants to make sure that that'll be okay. If the Scarlets are obviously going out to South Africa for a couple of weeks, we'll turn the attention to the games that are ahead. Has anyone put their hands up here for you tonight, Sam, really, and putting their hands up to go on that flight to South Africa? Scarlets will have their Welsh players going, I believe. Who stood out for you?
Well, I think the fact that Patch has come off at half-time will speak volumes. They'll know, obviously, what he's capable of. He's got plenty of credit in the bank, and they'll want to keep him fighting fit, because I assume they'll want him on the plane. It's been a tough old game for people to hold their hands up. I've been impressed with Justin Rees at times. I think he's been good over the ball. I don't think that's him that's just won a penalty, else I do know what I'm talking about. But no, very quick down the wing as well. Carwyn Tuapolotu, who's made some heavy carries as well, which is pretty much his bread and butter. And I must admit, I'm a big fan of Archie Hughes in and around the ruck. I think he looks to play quick, and that's something that suits our style of play.
Yeah, great. It's an opportunity for Scarlets winning the penalty to clear their lines yet again. It is, unfortunately, it goes to a creaking line out, but bank a ball, hopefully, at the front. Timing, Jack Price up high.
But commentator's curse.
Yeah, but the ball does come back. And the Scarlets are looking to attack. Going wide again. Ospreys' defence looks strong. It's a great hit.
It's a great hit.
From number 26, Tom Florence.
Yeah, he read that very well, didn't he?
Yeah, giving a slow ball to Archie Hughes, but Phil Price carries well there.
No dummy that time. I'm a bit disappointed.
Yeah. The passing a bit laboured from the Scarlets, but they have found a bit of space out wide and recycled the ball, coming back against that Ospreys wall in defence.
You just got to be patient here. A couple of phases. Look to go wide at the right time.
Yeah. Good angle from Phil Price again, carrying hard in midfield.
He can do it all.
14 men of the Scarlets just losing a bit of shape there now. So it's a change of tactic. There. It's a carry, I think, and a little chip. Trying to change the picture.
Oh, great take! What a take from Eddie James.
Yeah, great take from Eddie James. Ball bounces nicely into his hands. Gives the Scarlets half an opportunity. But it's Josh Phillips that switches the play, and it's a chop ahead again from Tommy Rog. Does he chip it? Does he kick it? He doesn't do either, unfortunately, and misses the ball.
He's been slide tackled there, ref.
Yeah, and it's Joe Grabham, I believe, who picks up the crumbs and wins the ball back for the Ospreys. And it's number 22, Harvey Nash, that clears the ball. It's a good play from Scarlets. They decided to change the pattern a bit, really. There was nothing on. The Ospreys' defence were in control. A couple of kicks over the top created an opportunity, but not enough of an opportunity for Scarlets to look that threatening, unfortunately. But a turnover in the end. Unfortunately, Tommy Rog doesn't quite get his boot to that kick ahead. It didn't quite sit up. We were hoping it would bounce. As Scarlets supporters, we were hoping it would bounce into his hands, but it didn't. But it did find its way into Ospreys' hands and given an opportunity to clear. But it's a line out Scarlets, 30 yards from the Ospreys try line.
I must admit, I was quite impressed there with Josh Phillips. I let out a groan when that came right, because I thought it should have gone wide, and he pulled it back and chucked it left. And to be fair, they identified the space in behind quite well. I think there's been a few times tonight where the Ospreys have only kept one in the backfield, and perhaps the speed in which the defensive lines come up, that chip's been possibly on a few more times.
Yeah, we're used to seeing it with Ospreys. They've got a defence that breaks down the yards, doesn't it? Puts the attacking team under pressure. Nothing's changed tonight, to be fair. They've looked strong throughout the game.
Samuel Jones has taken a big hit in the midfield there, but he's straight up. Tom Rogers with not a lot of options on. He's got to get some knees down, I think.
Ball might be held up, but it's allowed to play. Ospreys still bringing that line speed, aren't they, to be fair?
Fantastic line speed.
Now Archie thought
still
he'd
looking
seen
for
a hole.
If nothing else, it keeps that defensive line that little bit more honest in and around the ruck.
Yeah, and Phil Price carries well, and a decision comes Phil Price's way.
Quick tap.
Archie with a quick tap. Ospreys probably not 10 metres there. But referees are out play to go on. And we're only within 20 yards now of the Ospreys try line. Scarlets looking to put pressure on.
He's on his own. He is well and truly on his own. It's good work from the backs there.
And even Josh Phillips carrying the ball, having to do the scrum half work as Archie was held into the previous ruck. And now a slow ball for the Scarlets. Trying to rebuild. Phil Price with the carry, using his forwards to clear the ball. Next carry, we've got Jack Price in there, over the ball. It's the hard yards at the moment from the Scarlets. They won't throw it wide yet. They've got to.
We're looking at the defensive space in there from the Ospreys. They look like they're reading a lot on at the minute. They've maybe a bit sluggish to go left there.
Backs have decided to go left, and they might have a number spare. It's a great angle, actually.
Yeah, great try. Great try.
Try by Eddie James for the Scarlets. They were patient this time. The forwards built. Philip Price, Jack Price made the yards, kept the ball tight, and it came out at the wrong time. I believe it was Tommy Rogers who popped up at outside half, demanding the ball, demanding the play, waited for the right moment. And at last, some of the Scarlet supporters with something to cheer. It's a try for the Scarlets. You'd imagine it's too late, really, for an amazing comeback, but there are some supporters with smiles on faces, and a big moment for Eddie James crossing the try line.
Yeah, I think he's probably deserved that. He's carried quite hard throughout the game, but especially in the last kind of 10-15 minutes. And there was me about to wax lyrical about the Ospreys' defensive spacing and how well they've been in defensive line their own 22, but shifted very quickly to the left there and found the holes.
Yeah, and Josh Phillips successful with the conversion. So it's 26-10 for the Scarlets.
Scarlets will be keen to capitalise back on that again.
Yeah, bit of energy from the Scarlets required.
Restart deep left from the Ospreys. Carwyn Tuipulotu lining up for a carry.
Yeah, back on the field now, Carwyn.
And he makes some good yardage.
Again. Yeah, Scarlets are definitely going to play, not looking to kick the ball or win any territory. They're going to attack from deep. Ospreys will be pretty comfortable with that. They won't line up too deep themselves because they know what's coming. The Scarlets want to carry. The defence will be flat. So the Scarlets are going to have to be inventive in attack.
There's plenty of space back here on the right.
Scarlets do end up kicking it, and it's a competitive box kick.
Great take.
And it's a great take.
Who was that? He's done well to find grass as well.
Samuel Jones.
Yeah, he's done very well to find grass there.
Scarlets keeping it tight.
Trying to use that power game again.
But Lloyd Ashley Jones has held him up. And it's going to be a maul. And great work by Lloyd Ashley Jones, who has managed to hold it up and has won the scrum for the Ospreys.
Lloyd Ashley, apologies. There's so many double barrel names on the score sheet today. I'm throwing some in myself.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, sorry. Did I copy you? Yeah,
you did, yeah. Time off, bit more cramp on the field.
Yeah, you wonder sometimes. It's a game of power nowadays, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. But there's so many players going down with cramp. It is a game of 80 minutes, and you can see it. We've seen quite a few boys go down with cramp, haven't we, in the second half? Not saying it didn't happen back in my day, but it has been a quick game. There's been a lot of intensity in it, and to be fair, there's a lot of this group of players. They've gone 18 months without rugby really throughout lockdown, haven't they, Sam? So it is getting those bodies conditioned to play in 18 minutes of rugby again.
Absolutely, and I think fixtures like this are vital, and if we can have more of them throughout the season, I think that can only be a good thing. With the size of squads these days, especially speaking from our camp in terms of the size of our squad, we've carried a large squad for the last year or two.
That's a strong run.
Sam, Thomas Wheeler. Oh, mate.
That's a great try.
That's a great try. That is a great try. Take
to be
a bow.
fair, yeah.
Oh, it's Josh Carrington, sorry.
Josh Carrington, we believe, he had a strong carry, to be fair, to start the move. It got him through the gap, and then it's tremendous pace then to round the Scarlets defence and score under the post, and a great try, a real try of the evening without a doubt. We've seen the Ospreys had to build and have to work hard for their tries, and they've done it. That one was just half an opportunity for Josh Carrington, and an absolutely fantastic try.
Yeah, brilliant finish there. He's taken it very well. As you say, it's only kind of a whiff of an opportunity there, and he seized it with both hands. Fantastic bit of pace to round off as well. No, I'll be pleased with that. He'll be pleased with that. And perfect timing from him, just as I was beginning to drone on.
But it's an opportunity for number 23. It's Dan Edwards with a chance for the conversion. It's 31 points to 10 to the Ospreys at the moment. And
yeah,
he makes it
well.
33 points to 10 for the Ospreys. And it's obviously convincing. It's disappointing for any Scarlet supporters, obviously, some. It's difficult giving them so many opportunities, giving the Ospreys so many opportunities in that first half.
Yeah.
From the missed lineouts, it's just allowed them to manage the game and be comfortable with everything nearly everything the Scarlets have done.
Yeah, and unfortunately, rugby's always going to be results based, but the performance, I think, is more important in these fixtures. And I think a lot of boys will come away with some lessons from this game, which is ideally what they're for. But it's always a shame, results side of things anyway.
Yeah, and from the kick-off, as you would have seen, it's an Ospreys knock-on. Has left the Scarlets with a scrum and trying to win some pride, really, with the end of the game coming not too far away, really. Scarlets definitely want to finish with maybe the last score, and it's a good scrum, good opportunity. 25 metres out from the Ospreys try line.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to finish on a high, despite, as we said, the result. Scrum's doing
good
well
scrum
again.
From the Scarlets. Ospreys front row have risen.
Counter.
Referees allowed it, and there is a move.
Crisp hands there.
Oh, unfortunately, ball goes down from the Scarlets.
He's put his foot through that.
It's a great hack ahead. Scarlets are now under pressure from being in the prime position. It's Tommy Rogers who's back and on the counter-attack. And there's another step. The Scarlets are trying to obviously attack from deep, trying to keep the ball in hand and trying to use any opportunity to get back into the Ospreys half. It's going to be a long way and a long battle to get into that Ospreys half at the moment, but there is space behind that, the first defensive line. We might see a little chip come along once these forwards have carried. We've got Josh Phillips working his way back into the outside half position. Not much on for the Scarlets. The ball is slow, so it's left to Archie to clear it.
That from Archie Hughes. Good head of steam from August Strong. Yeah, good support line.
Good hands again from the Ospreys. The tip pass in and the offload, creating some space on the outside. It's the danger man.
That's a great hit from Neston Rees.
Neston Rees with a good tackle.
Oh, another big one flying in.
Another big hit. Ospreys comfortable.
Yeah, but they got numbers on that right now as well. It's got to go.
Oh, and it's a lovely outside swerve by the Osprey. I didn't see who it was. You did risk. And there, that is the final whistle, just as Sam Cook started to sound like Jonathan Davis, Jonathan Jiffy Davis, really, with numbers on the right-hand side. But there were numbers on the right-hand side. There was an opportunity for Ospreys, but the Scarlets have turned the ball over. It is a convincing victory in the end for the Ospreys for 33 points to 10. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tries for the Ospreys, 1 for the Scarlets. Good game of rugby, great intensity, great occasion. Enjoyed?
Yeah, absolutely. As we said, there's a lot of lessons to take away from it, which is the whole point of these matches. Just hopefully look forward to a couple more of them coming out throughout the season.
Yeah, some great individuals, individual performances on show tonight. Obviously, the Scarlets really, because of that line-out, didn't really get on the front foot. But from an Ospreys perspective, Morgan Strong stood out.
Sorry, I lost you over the tannoy then.
Morgan Strong stood out from an Ospreys perspective.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought that all of the Ospreys back row played very well. Harry Deeves, exactly what you want from an open side in that type of game, was everywhere and a nuisance at most of the breakdowns. Yeah. Will Hickey carried very strong, and obviously Morgan Strong got a lot of time on the ball, which is exactly what he would have wanted going into this.
Yeah, and there'll be a very proud grandmother watching at home. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it. It's something new, something we're trialling, something we're trying, and just to see if we can maybe improve by the next time. If you're all up for it, for the next development match at Parc y Scarlets, we'll see how it goes, see how the reactions. It's a convincing victory tonight for the Ospreys against Scarlets Development. Good game to watch, and we'll hopefully hear from you very soon.